Hi, everybody. Welcome. This is One Row at a Time. It's our first ever podcast episode. I'm Juan and also nervous. This is Marty, our black belt professor here at Arayama Jiu Jitsu. Marty, you want to introduce yourself, a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Marty Kirk. I'm the owner and instructor of Adiyama Jiu Jitsu. I've been training Jiu Jitsu for 16 years now. Trained originally with Eidson BJJ, which is located up in Forest Ranch. I've then transferred to Studio 540 out in Solana Beach for a little bit, and then moved out to East County in 2018. I started training at Outliers Jiu Jitsu, and that's where I received my black belt. We opened Adiyama Jiu Jitsu in March of 2025, so this year, going on 8 months ago, and it's been incredible so far.
Awesome. Awesome. A little bit about me. My name's Juan. Looking at the notes, white belt, 2 stripes, getting
Hard-earned
used to
stripes.
everything.
Hard-earned
Hard earned
stripes.
stripes. Every stripe is earned hard here at Arayama. And, really we wanted to, I've been training on and off for about like 2 to 3 years. But if you add everything up, it's been like 8 to 10 months. And here at Arayama with Marty is the first time that I've actually been consistent. My whole family comes. I got my wife to join. So you really do feel that family energy and environment. And that's one thing that I really wanted, why I wanted to start my page One Row at a Time. And also this podcast with Marty is so that people who don't really know a lot about jujitsu can kind of learn a little bit and kind of see that we want to kind of bring you guys into the conversations that we have on the mats after the rolling, after like all the sweat
Yeah.
is going on.
Demystify the sport a little bit. We get a lot of people. Everybody here that's joined Ayama in the last almost 8 months has pretty much been, I think I have 7 blue belts, 1 purple belt, and the rest are white belts. So everybody's brand new, and we get a lot of people who come in and who are interested and are trying to kind of figure out if they can do this. We want to give this content to kind of help people make that decision to give it a try.
Yeah. And that's why, right? Like demystify. I know when I look up, even now that I understand jujitsu and like bringing in like my daughter and my wife, like it's overwhelming. Like even now, like today, like Uchigatami, like I don't know the words sometimes. So it's like sometimes I'm like, is it sushi or is it an actual move? But kind of just to create a fun space to ask questions. That's why we've introduced the Fun Friday questions. It was kind of like to see, can we do this? And like, can we work this out? This is the first time that been on screen. Marty's the face of Arayama, the talent, and then my daughter too like jumps in and asks questions. But that's why we kind of just wanted to see like to you, like what does jujitsu mean to you like outside of the mat?
I think jujitsu outside of the mat is probably the best way to challenge yourself mentally in a controlled environment so that when we are dealing with all the crazy stresses of our life outside of the gym, outside of the school, we're just mentally fortified a little bit more. It's the mental challenge that you can control and kind of make sure that you're getting your reps in that way so that you can go out and manage all those other aspects in a healthier way.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I think about the most for the average person who's coming in here, what they're going to get from it. There's all the self-defense stuff. There's the community, which is incredible that you can lean on during those tough times. And we have some like great stories about that here. But when you really just break it down to like the lowest common denominator, I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Nice. And I've always like my wife, she was making a joke. I told you a little bit off camera that it's like, hey, you're finally gonna start be able to do a podcast. Like I always want to just help people grow and like do things. And I consume a lot of podcasts. So I like listen when I drive. And I know shout out to AJ when he drives a lot, he'll listen to podcasts.
Be our one subscriber.
Yeah, the one subscriber, the best looking guy. I'll put a picture of him right here.
Yeah.
But why a podcast? Like, what made you obviously say yes to me? But what intrigues you of like the podcast format? Gets you excited for it?
I like talking about jujitsu. I think that's one of the things that's kept me around in jujitsu for so long. Like one of my favorite things about it is talking to the guys that you train with afterwards and like, oh my God, Juan is getting so good. And man, did you see what Tyson was doing? You see how AJ was moving? Like you really get to enjoy talking about the progression of not just yourself, but also the guys that you train with and the pride that you get to take in that. And those are great conversations that I just really like having. I really enjoy, and so if we really enjoy it that much, I'm thinking that there's other people who are into jujitsu who might be considering jujitsu or just getting into it that will probably enjoy it too. So That's what made me really
Yeah,
excited. Yeah.
right. To see that we're humans.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that you said that in one of the questions last time, that it's not like all aggro, like people
Yeah.
just like it's a bond
Yeah.
that you can't
Man.
create anywhere else.
Yeah, like we're always talking about that, like taking care of each other, taking care of each other. And there's like multiple ways to take care of each other. Like one, it's not cranking an arm bar, but then it's also like all these guys that are competing, and we're so lucky to have so many people competing, but pushing them,
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
make sure that they perform well. And like, that's how you take care of your teammate. Like there's multiple ways to do that. And we're doing a good job of that here. And that I have a lot of pride in that.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. And one thing, like, being fully candid, like, even with this podcast, like creating it, that's why I have this sheet here. Like, I'm not an expert at podcasting. I'm not an expert at jujitsu, but we have a source like you, like a black belt is considered, an expert. So that's why I invite you guys to like ask questions, like ask questions to Marty. He's a resource here for us. And not just like in jujitsu, but on the mats too. What what is like your ultimate goal with this podcast? What do you hope to see like the fruits of it?
I want to beat. I have a friend who did a podcast. He had like 500 subscribers. I want to beat that.
Okay.
So that's goal number one. Get at least 500 subscribers. But on a serious note, I just want to help people who are a part of this get more out of it with
Mm,
us, and using things like this that are relatively easy
yeah.
for us to do to give them access to more from the school and from the community. That's my ultimate goal.
Yeah. That's crazy because we didn't do a lot of prep. Marty's big on like being genuine. Like I have these questions here, but that was my purpose that I wrote down, is like helping all of us get better one role at a time. And that's why I made that, because I think when we jujitsu, and not even jujitsu, just life is such a big journey, right? That if we see like either a move, right? And on the mats, like a move, like I can't master this move, but it's really, you showed me, it's small technique. It's revving,
Yeah.
revving the motorcycle. It's using the blade. And it's just like life. Like you could see like a big obstacle or a mountain. That's
Yeah.
what it means, right? But if you start thinking like, dang, I got to go all the way up there, rather than like, let me take a step, right? And that's what we got to think. Like, let me take one roll at a time. And we break a lot of things into rolls. Like,
Yeah.
it's just these next 5 minutes. They might suck, but I'm going to learn something from it, right? So it's cool that you have that. We kind of have that together, right? So right now we're gonna kind of end like every podcast. We're gonna, obviously we're all learning right now. We're gonna keep it short too, so you guys aren't like, man, how long
When
is
this
this?
guy's gonna stop?
Yeah, 500 subscribers, 500 minute.
Yeah.
But we're gonna kind of add it. We're gonna add like a little, call to action for you guys to share, because we want it to be like engaging, and like we want to answer questions that you might have, right? And not even towards me, but I think that's a perspective I could see, like me not knowing much as a white belt, and then you see both sides. So we'll like weigh in on things from a white belt and a black belt. And we've already talking to the other coaches, like we'll have guests in here. But one thing would be like sharing your jujitsu journey, right? Like in the comments, or send us a voice recording. We'll play it for you guys, for all the listeners here, because we want it to be, especially, I call it the Adayama multiverse. I'm a 5:30 a.m. person,
Yeah.
but then I don't know everyone at the 7 p.m. or they don't even know the time.
Yeah,
the 6:15 p.m.
Yeah.
classes, right? So it's like, hey, that's so and so from the night class, and that's one from the morning class, and we can kind of like build that community. So when we have our parties, we already know, like,
Yeah,
we see each other on Instagram anyways. So yeah, share that, because we want to learn more about you guys. We don't want it just to be two guys talking about us, right? How long we can. That'll be a 500-minute podcast for sure. Any last things that you want to share for the first episode?
Just want to thank you guys for being a part of this with us. The last 7 months have been incredible. It's been so challenging, but I wouldn't change a single thing about it. And want to do more and find ways to do more. So feedback, please. What Juan said, let us know, ask the questions, and whatever we can do to make this a better experience for you guys. We want to try to do that.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you guys. And take life one roll at a time.